All right, here we are, another week of Purse Strings going Facebook Live.
Yes.
Today we're going to go a little less financial and a little bit more fun with Marianne Kaplan, and we'll be talking about Feng Shui and how to Feng Shui your office.
Well, and your office these days are in your home, so.
Definitely, yep.
Yeah.
So, now Marianne, you are in the Chicago burbs, correct?
Yep. Yes, I am. I'm in Libertyville, Illinois, about 10 minutes from the border, but 45 minutes from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yep, been there, seen that.
Yep.
I'm very familiar with it.
We love
Yeah, we're
everyone
going to
logging
get a lot
on
of
to
snow on Tuesday, so.
lot of snow. We'd love everyone
Yeah.
logging on to tell us, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, what you're doing today.
Yeah.
We got Madison.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. We get people from all over.
I love Madison.
Yeah, it was just recently voted the best place to live.
Really? Well, I can see why. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always loved it.
Great city.
They have a
Lovely.
great farmers market on the street.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really
Great
nice.
restaurants when they're open. Oh my gosh.
I know. When they're open, I know, that's for sure. Well, this will be a fun one today. I know, Marianne, you've feng shuied our house, and you've worked with both myself and Maggie on our goals for this year. So we're all set and ready to rock and roll. And we just thought having you on here to help others spread the good news about feng shui and some things that they can change in their house or in their office or their home office to create prosperity, which we all want. And I know you have some really good things to add about prosperity for the new year. So I think it's going to be I just have a sense it's going to be a great year.
I agree.
Prosperity wise, I just think we've all been held up so much over the past year with COVID, and we still will be, but we finally realized we got to find our feet and get moving ahead, and life goes on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm. How are we doing, Mag?
Good. We've got a couple more people logging on, so we'll just wait another minute or two, so nobody misses our feng shui tips. But if you have to log off early or you want to share this with anyone, it will be on our Facebook page. So you can always share and have other people tune back in later.
Yes, but if you're in today, you're in a raffle, right, Marianne?
Absolutely. 3 people.
3 people today will win the raffle. So stay on, stay present.
She'll tell us all about it.
I will tell you all about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun.
Oh, my friend Rachel's on here. Hey, Rachel. She's in Chicago.
Shout out, everybody who's here. Let us know. We want to know you're here. So many people are so excited about this. So.
Yeah, we've been working on our board all week, so.
They look fabulous.
Thank you.
And I was impressed with Mike's board. Is that the first time? I think first time he's ever done one, right?
Yeah, he did a board too. Yeah. And he's already doing really great. So proud of him.
Is he setting up his office?
Yeah, setting up his office. Yeah.
Perfect.
So getting things rocking and rolling. And I have my red folders here.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Red is so people know red is an important color.
Well, it really is, because if you take a look at the Chinese culture, I mean, red is everywhere. And when brides get married, they're either in a solid red dress or have a lot of red on them. In fact, I was able to be this is a long story, about 2 weeks ago, a virtual witness to a couple that got married. She's Chinese, he's not. And they needed another witness, and they asked me if I would be a witness. Was interesting, and she was in the most beautiful solid red dress. Oh my gosh. red flowers everywhere. And it was just in their condo, and it was just the two of them, and pastor who was, officiating, and then I was the additional witness, which is really, really great. But in the Chinese culture, red is an activator, and that's why it's really important. It's, when you write your goals, if you write them in red and you put things in red file folders, you're always activating that energy.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about red this year. I'll talk a little bit more about it. Red is super important this year, and I'll tell you guys why. And we need to wear a little more red this year in jewelry and stuff.
All right.
So yeah, we'll get started. Thank you everyone for joining us today on our Purse Strings Facebook group for Financially Fearless Women. Typically, we have a Purse Strings approved provider on there who is someone who provides a financial service. But Marianne Kaplan is coming in today to teach us about Feng Shui. So she's not an approved provider, but she's a great resource. And we're very excited to have her here. And so Marianne Kaplan is a Feng Shui master who brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the practice of Feng Shui. Marianne enjoys the art of transforming spaces, both indoor and outdoor, as to provide a dynamic and rewarding environment for her clients. This helps transform lives by unlocking roadblocks with the keys to success. Marianne has 3 classic Feng Shui certifications, and her last one is a certification under Marie Diamond from The Secret. It's one of my favorite books. Marianne's clients include a variety of entrepreneurs, financial planners, realtors, career coaches, teachers, small business owners, and real estate stagers, to mention a few. The goal of Feng Shui consultation is to bring imbalance into balance, so her clients can strengthen their goals and bring about results in a wealth growing manner. Since 2020 on sheltering in, everyone's been working at home, so Marianne has focused on creating personalized power offices for her clients in order to increase more clients and business success. Today she's going to share with us 10 Feng Shui tips to creating a power office for success. So while presenting, anyone can put their questions in the side and we'll work on getting those answers. No question is a dumb question. I'm sure somebody else has it too. So on that note, I'm going to hand it over to you, Marianne.
Hi, thank you. So I have to tell everyone, this is my first Facebook Live, and so I'm really honored. And I've known Barb for quite a while, and Maggie, so I'm very honored to be on Purse Strings today. And I am a Feng Shui expert and consultant. I've been doing this for like 15 years, and I have 3 classical Feng Shui certifications that bring a lot of knowledge and wealth in terms of when I do my consulting. So we're going to talk about a little bit about Feng Shui, and you've all been practicing Feng Shui, to be honest, since you were little. You didn't know about it. Even as you were a baby, you would pick a certain spot in the crib to sleep in. You would pick a certain spot in your living room or in the kitchen to sit at. You always were picking things that were comfortable to you. You didn't know it at the time. It just felt good. So Feng Shui is all about how you feel in a space. And it all happens to do with the energy in that particular space and whether that energy is appropriate for you or not. If you think about going into some places, some offices, stores, there's some places you go into and you go, wow, this feels amazing. I could spend a couple hours here. Or you go into some place and you go, wow, I can't wait to get out of here. I'm just not feeling comfortable, kind of feeling on edge. So those are examples of good Feng Shui or not good Feng Shui. So if you're feeling really comfortable, most likely that space is very conducive to the energy for you. So we talk about Feng Shui, we're talking about how you feel in the space. And it's really important this year, since we've gone sheltering in and everyone has decided, is working out of their homes. People are working, creating offices in their bedrooms, creating offices. I had one that was created in her daughter's bedroom in a little tiny nook. They're in dining rooms, they're created everywhere. And people are struggling and finding the right comfort level for, where they're in that particular space. So I thought we would talk about what are some of the keys for you developing a great power office. So in Feng Shui, the Feng Shui, I'll just give you a little bit of history. The Feng Shui year goes from February 4th to February 4th, and the energies change every year. So last year, we had kind of like the perfect storm for COVID, for a lot of things that were happening in terms of illness, slowing down the economy, making people shelter in. So a lot of things that were happening last year, and there was a perfect kind of storm energetically lined up. This year, we've got a shift of amazing energy. So we've got some really great energies coming in. And like Barb said, she feels it's going to be a much more successful, prosperous year, and it will be. As we have an energy that goes in the center, it's all about opportunities, windfalls, prosperity. Last year, that energy in the center was connected to the lungs and bronchial tubes, and it was a very cutting energy. And it affected businesses, it affected people's health. So whenever you have something in the center, that's great. Everyone benefits from it. So I'm really excited for 2021 energy shifting for February 4th. That's when the official Feng Shui year begins. So we'll talk a little bit about some of the tips for setting up a power office. Ideally, it'd be great if you had your own space, your own room, okay? So I'm going to talk about from the ideal right now. So if you have an extra bedroom that you're not using, that's been a spare bedroom, and that's the only other room you could put your office in, I'm going to recommend that you do it. Take the bed out, maybe get a hide bed or sofa bed or a futon in there so that you can create a office for yourself. That is the ideal. Now in Feng Shui, everyone has a personal Feng Shui number. And with that number, you have an element that is your primary element that supports you and your energy. So ideally, it's to have an office that's set up personalized to your energy number so that you're facing one of your best directions. We all have 4 directions that are amazing to be sitting and facing and 4 that are not so great. So here's some tips, okay? So let's pretend you're walking into your office, into your room, okay? And you're going to pick a spot to sit in. The first thing I do not want you to be sitting against a wall, facing a wall. And I don't want you facing a window, okay? So ideally, when you walk into your office or into that room, I want you to set up where your desk and chair is going to be so that you're seeing the door. You always need to be seeing the door who's coming and going, whether that your office just be on an angle, or you could be sitting with your back against a wall, but I don't want you facing that wall. You always need to be seeing who's coming and going, okay? It gives you more power, and it's going to help you attract stronger, more successful energy to you. So think about this. When I help people create their power offices, I want you to be the king or queen of that space. So think about royalty. People come up to royalty, they walk down a long corridor, whatever, they come to you, okay? They're always seeing who is always around. They've got a bird's eye view of what is happening, and that's how I want you to be. I want you to be in that power position. So ideally, that power position is a diagonal, okay, from the door coming into your space. Second, I want you to be sitting in a powerful chair. Your office chair should resemble that of a throne, okay? High back, arms, and get one that you're really comfortable with, and perhaps one that you can adjust the height of that chair to your desk. Super important, because the Chinese philosophy is you always want to have support behind your back, okay? Or we call a mountain behind your back. That's why it's great to have a solid wall behind your back, and therefore the chair gives you an additional support. Now, some people have a mix of windows and a wall, so they can't have a complete wall. That's fine. Just during the day, make sure you have blinds against the windows that are closed, and you have a high back chair, okay, to give you that added protection there. And then third, I would like you to have a substantial desk, an office desk, okay, and correctly placed. So what does that mean? I want you to have a desk that's more than 2 or 3 feet, wide and 1 foot in depth, okay? Give you an example. I feng shuied someone's office. They are working from home now. They were working in a big office, and she had a desk that was like a little secretary desk that you would write thank you notes on. It was a very vintage desk and a little boudoir chair. And her laptop just fit the whole surface of that, took up the surface of the desk. And I was asking her, so how comfortable are you feeling in this room? And then she was facing a corner. Okay, her back was to the door coming in. And she goes, well, not great. I'm kind of struggling and having a hard time. Then I find myself, I'm moving to the dining room table and not using my office space. So immediately I told her, she needed to get a new desk, a new chair, which she went out that afternoon, got it, and we properly set up her space. And within a week, the phone started ringing. She started getting more clients and was not feeling stuck. So if you want, because basically what she was telling the universe, okay, is I only want my business to be this small, this big, okay? However, her goals, she wanted to double her business. She wanted a bigger business, okay? And when you are just sitting at a tiny desk like this where your laptop is taking the whole surface, you're telling the universe, I only want my business to be this big. And then you're sitting in a chair that's not supportive. So get yourself a nice solid desk. It can be a mix of wood and metal. I don't recommend glass desktops at all. Because when you have a glass desktop, what happens is the energy that's coming into the room from that open doorway, okay, it's going to fall and go right through the desk, okay? And you want that energy to be supporting you, to want that energy to be nurturing you, okay? When we talk about putting power behind your desk, okay, the Chinese always said you need to build a home with a mountain behind it. Now that mountain could be literally a mountain, it can be a hill, it can be a grove of trees, okay? They always wanted something behind them to support them. So I always recommend for people in their office, get a beautiful scene of a mountain. Mountain can have some trees in it or a stream in there. Get something really pleasing for you because that gives you additional support, having that mountain behind you. Now, when you're sitting at your desk, you want to get power in front of you, okay? So I know during the day you're working, you've got papers everywhere on there, okay? But when you're done working for the day, I'd like you to clear, and I call it like a little runway. You can have piles on the right, piles on the left, but clear that center part of your desk so it's like a runway. So when you're done for the day, it's nice and clear. When you come in the morning, have your cup of coffee, you're sitting looking at that clear space. You're having time to think about, gee, what do I want to accomplish today? If you meditate, you'll have time to do that without looking at all the things in front of you going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do next? You're getting overwhelmed with what you have to do. And you should take this time in the morning to have your cup of coffee, think about how you want your day to go. And if you meditate, that's even more productive for you. It's wonderful for you to be able to do that so that you stay centered and focused on your goals, okay? So you're not kind of frantic and chaotic in the morning. So I would say have a runway at your desk by the end of the day. You should also, on the south wall or south-facing area of your office, should have some things of recognition. And they can be things from getting an award for speaking somewhere, if you're in multi-level marketing, getting an award for, some kind of achievement, anything that someone presented to you, an article that was written about you, something that when you presented perhaps on Facebook Live or presented to a particular group, a photo of you with that group, something showing that you have got some recognition for what you've done. It's always great to have that. Any kind of awards, anything you've been recognized for, put that on the south area in your office, which is awesome because it represents fame. And fame is all about how you present yourself to the world, how you present yourself to the peers. It's difficult, I know, if your home is already built. Try not to have that office near a bathroom. Particularly, you don't want to be sharing, if all possible, a wall with a bathroom. I Feng Shuied, this was in a building, Feng Shuied someone's office a few years ago, and they had a lease for 2 years. Their meeting room, the offices where they were was great. As it was a couple, they had each of their own offices. However, their conference room where they met with everybody, the wall was shared with the bathroom, and there was no soundproofing. And when I sat in there, you could hear everyone running the water. You could hear them flushing the toilet. Okay, so those are things that you don't want, because that is draining water, and you don't want to have that kind of noise and be sitting next to that. So if possible, pick a room that's not next to the bathroom. You want to make your office as functional and attractive as possible. Okay. So that, again, that's a personal taste item for you. What do you like to have in your office space? Less is more. Okay. The big thing that you want to get rid of is clutter. Okay. When you walk into your office, your corners should not be cluttered. There should not be anything on the floor. Everything should be in its space, in a cabinet or in a bookcase, and everything in the center should be off the floor, and also decluttered. And I know that's one of the things that most people are struggling with this year, because they haven't created an office in their home before. They're sharing space with other people, but it can be worked out, and it can be worked, and two people can share the same office space, and just finding, where they each perform the best, facing their best directions and things like that. So, clutter is an important thing to get rid of. The other thing is, I want you to think about when you're sitting at your desk, okay, you've got the clear runway, you're coming in the morning, and what are you focusing right across from your desk? Is it a picture? Is it something that's inspiring, or is it something that's draining your energy? Is it something depressing? Is it something uplifting? Okay. It's really important that you have something that resonates with you, that is inspiring, motivating, uplifting, whether it be a poster with some motivational quotes on it, or just a plaque with motivational quotes, or a beautiful scene. Okay. A lot of people like to have pictures of ships or sailboats in their office, and a beautiful, clear water, moving, beautiful, inviting. Okay, what you don't want is, you don't want the Titanic sinking. I'll give you an example. About 5 years ago, I was asked to present at a networking group, and it was a morning networking group, and I knew the two gentlemen that were running the group. And again, I was giving the 10 tips about how to set up a powerful office, personalized office. So as I was talking, and I was talking about images that you see in front, and about ships, so I just happened to mention that the Titanic. And because if you're looking at the Titanic every day when you sit down first thing in the morning, what's happening? The ship is sinking. The outcome was not positive. Okay, so your energy is focused on, wow, okay, nothing uplifting, very sad, okay, a negative outcome, and that's where your energy is kind of going and focusing first thing or during the day. So I'm all done with my presentation. They loved it. The gentleman who asked me to come present, he takes me aside. He goes, "Oh my gosh, Marianne, I can't believe you talked about this." I go, "Why?" He says, "I'm a collector of things that were on the Titanic, or pictures and stuff of the Titanic." And I said, "Oh, okay." Now, I've known him for like 15, 20 years. And during the time I've known him, his career has gone up, down, up, down, up, down. And he said he'd be great when he was working in his away office, but when he came home, he was having problems. What was he facing? He was facing a 5 by 6 foot picture of the Titanic sinking. And as as we were talking, he goes, "As soon as I get out or leave this meeting, I'm taking that Titanic off. I'm replacing it with something else." And I said, "Awesome. Do not even put it in your garage. And I want you to put your items that you've gotten from the Titanic in a case somewhere that's out of your office, because they all represent things that were not positive. Yes, powerful ship, everything else, but what was the outcome?" And so for many years, he was came home, sat in his chair and looked at the Titanic. And again, the business was up and down. So it's really important what you look at, because your whole attention goes to what you're focusing on. And you always want to focus on something that's uplifting, that's wonderful, that's inspiring for you. So it's really important. Also, do not sit directly facing a wall. There's so many people that I go into their offices, they've got their desk, the desk is against the wall, and particularly now with a lot of kids doing e-learning, it's horrible for kids to be facing the wall and their back is to the door. What happens when you're facing a wall, you're about 2 feet away from the wall, is you're blocking and stopping all opportunities, energy coming to you. And you want to be open to energy coming to you and have as many opportunities as possible. It kind of stops people's growth. Now, I've done cubicles when people were meeting in offices and doing cubicles. Cubicles can be Feng Shui. There's a lot of techniques and tricks to do that, because you're possibly having 3 walls that you're facing, but there's a lot of things that you can do so that you're opening up that energy flow for that person. But try not to sit in there. Okay, I'm sorry, I was losing track. How many people have I done 10 tips, or are we on more than 10 tips?
I've been tracking, and I have 9.
You have 9. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna don't worry about it, because I was like keeping track. I'm going through all my stuff here for that. Okay. So I'm gonna give you one more tip, okay, for your office. So we talked about before, when everyone was coming on, the power of the red color, okay? And whenever I Feng Shui anybody's office or I do anything, I always leave them some red file folders, okay? If you're working with clients, if you write out your goals and intentions Sunday night or Monday morning, I'm going to recommend that you write them in red ink. And then I want you to put them in a red file folder. And that red file folder should be standing upright on your desk, okay? Or if you have contacts that you want to make that week, write who you want to contact that week, put them in a red file folder. Have that red file folder upright on your desk. You don't want the red file folders to be laying down. When they're upright, that means they're working for you, okay? And that's what you want to watch. And what you're doing is you're activating that energy. If you have a file cabinet, okay, and you have clients in there, and say that you've got some repeat clients that perhaps you do updates for them annually, or you want to connect with them, and you haven't heard from some of them in a while, okay, put them in a red file folder. In fact, I keep clients in hanging red file folders that I'm working with, because there's updates and things I do with clients annually. You always want to keep them active. You always want to keep them top of mind, okay? So the power of the red file folders is amazing, okay, for you. And writing things down in red ink is also awesome. I'll give you 11 tips, the 11th one, which is super powerful. I recommend for everyone to have some kind of water fountain or water feature in their office. It doesn't have to be big, depends on the size of your office. It should be a kind of bubbling water fountain. And there's two good areas for you to put the water fountain in. It can be either in the north area of your office or the southeast area of your office. Always 2 good areas to have a water fountain. In Feng Shui, water brings opportunities to people, brings prosperity, brings in money. And having that going on, what you're doing is you're attracting more prosperity to you. You do not ever want to have one in your bedroom because it drains and pulls energy from you, but in your office or your living room, you always want to have one. So it's one of the things that I recommend for most people is to have a water feature. There's sites where you can, one of my favorite sites is lampsplus.com, because you can go on and just type in water fountains. They have a big variety of water fountains. What I love about that one is they have videos for most of them, so you can click on the video and see, is that sound pleasing? Is the water rushing? Because you want a nice bubbling, soft sound and always going in your water fountain. So that is a huge one there. So when you're doing your goals for the week, and you're talking about looking at something out from your desk. Another thing that I recommend, and it's personal, a lot of people just like to write their goals down on a sheet of paper, put them in a red file folder, and look at them perhaps weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it is. But there is something very powerful about doing a vision board. I just did one with Maggie and Barb, and the vision boards are personalized to your energy number. We spent a lot of time talking about how you particularly write your intentions, your goals, and it's awesome to be able to connect with that visually. So a lot of people will put it in a corner, put it in an area of their office where they at least daily connect with that board, because it keeps the energy positively going for you. That's another great tip to do. So I'm going to give you a couple fun things to do. Okay, we're talking about red file folders for clients, for attracting more clients, keeping them active. If you haven't heard from a client in a while, put them in a red file folder. Okay, and write down that you've heard from this client. On Friday you've already connected with this client, and to keep that energy going. We're talking about attracting wealth, prosperity, money. You're talking about purse strings. So bills. If you want to keep a little bit of color coordinated file folders in your office, okay, you want to place your bills in blue folders. So get some blue, either hanging folders or just file folders, because what that does, the blue is the water element, but the blue keeps those bills down, okay, keeps them small, okay, doesn't activate them, okay. For income, place your salary stubs, pay stubs, in a yellow folder. It's what you're getting, what you're earning. It keeps it very grounded, keeps it constant, keeps it consistent for you. Saving statements, okay? Place in green or brown folders. What does the green and brown helps to activate and grow, because you think about the color green, it's all about growth, and plants grow in dirt and soil. So both of those are for growing. For investments, you want to keep them in. You want to keep it really active, and you want to keep them in red file folders. For this year, there's a big in terms of investments, because we're in the year of going into the year of the metal ox. There's a lot of positive things about investing in metals, and they can be gold, silver, all different types of metals. Investing in Bitcoin, different types of investments. And when you start investing, put those, whatever sheets you get or confirmations you get, put those in red file folders, and all of them should be upright for you. So if you want to slow down the bills, put them in blue, okay? If you want to have your investments grow and you want to keep them activated, put them in red file folders. Just a few little tricks. Are there any questions?
Wow, this is a ton of great information. Yeah, just also involves a trip to Staples, which I'm excited about. We do have one question, and that's, what is the process of getting certified?
Okay, what's the process of getting certified? Well, I will just kind of tell you that when I got into Feng Shui, I'm originally a science teacher. I was a pre-med major. I have a master's in counseling psychology. But when I had my son, I took a sabbatical, and then I decided to, be a stay-at-home mom. And however, I was attracted to alternative energies and Feng Shui, for many, many years. And books kept literally popping off the shelf, and I said, I have to do something. So I started researching. There was a school in Chicago, and this is before I knew that there were different schools of Feng Shui. So I sign up, I take the class, and I'm the kind of person that when I go do something, I follow through on it. Well, the first day, we're being told and given an energy map, which is called the Bagua, and we're told that the every front door is north facing, and how we set things up for floor plans. I'm a science person. I'm going, but every front door is not north facing. It can be south. No. So I was told, no, this is how this school operates. This is how we do it, and this is what we do. And I said, okay. So I took the class. I finished it. I had an experiment on my friends. I told my friends, I'm just doing this to get my my degree, not my degree, my certification. And as soon as I got it, I left and I researched other schools. And so classical is where my other 3 certifications are from. So what does it take? It takes a good teacher. You have to find a really good qualified teacher to do it. And my recommendation is to get a teacher that really spends time with you, that just doesn't give you a manual, that really talks to you, has conversations with you. I can give you some recommendations for it. But I have 4 certifications. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly taking classes because Feng Shui is a lot of layering effects. So to me, it's to get someone that is practicing, I personally think, classical Feng Shui, because the other one is we call Western or Black Hat Feng Shui. So 85% of the consultants that are in the U.S., I don't know about Europe, but in the U.S., are what we call Western Feng Shui consultants. And that's where they'll come to your house, to your office, whatever. They'll do an energy map, and every door is north facing, and then they'll lay out the energies according to that. And when you realize every front door is not north facing, the energy shift, you want it to be accurate. So it's been a lot of study, it's been a lot of work, a lot of time that I've invested. The last 5 years I was working with Marie Diamond, who's in Europe, and it's just quite amazing. And everyone seems to have a focus and a strength and a talent that they bring into the study of Feng Shui. And like I said, it's a lot of layers, and it takes quite a while to get everything together. So it took me probably to get my certification with classical, I would say probably 6 to 9 months the first time. But you want someone that really follows through and wants to, and consults with you, and make sure that you're getting it right. Because there's a lot of teachers out there that just say, oh, here's the book, here's a manual, here's a test. Wow. Okay, you need experience. You really need to go in someone's home. You need someone to go with you and to see if you're doing it correctly, because you can make adjustments in someone's home and it can be off. Okay, and instead of bringing good energy to them or making something positive, it can be negative. So it's really, I feel very committed to my field. I'm very passionate about it. So I want to get as many things right for the people as I can, and to be supportive. So it's important that you get good coaching in your classes.
That's great. That's great information.
Yeah, and I didn't really know that when I first started, that there are different schools of Feng Shui. So, and then as I meet a lot of people, it's about 85%, because classical, use the compass method. It's a lot deeper. It's a lot more layers than the Black Hat Feng Shui.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
I'm hearing a little bit of an echo.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say that that's the methodology you used with us when you came to our home. And I was so impressed with all of the accoutrements you had to bring along, the compasses and the different things that you kept pulling out of your little bag. And it was time consuming. And like you said at the end, you don't think about everything we've just been through. It was several hours. We kind of plopped on the couch. You gave us so much information. I mean, you're just a wealth of information. It's almost hard to take in, but I found it amazing. I just kind of soak in every word you say, and I'm always looking around about what I need to do differently. But I would say, Marianne, what's the one thing, like when you walk into people's homes, what's the first thing that you can say is that most people get wrong just in their home?
Oh gosh, just in their home. Okay, I'm going to say clutter. Okay. In Feng Shui, everything starts at the front door. No matter whether you're in a single family home, condo, townhome, or apartment, like you guys are in a high-rise, everything starts at the front door. So I look at, the shape of the front door. What's going on in the front door? Is it clean? Is it neat? Is there a wreath? Is there something decorative on the front door? Is there a floor mat? I know in apartment buildings and stuff you can't have them, but in a single home you can have it. Is there a floor mat out there? Is there something that's inviting me in? Because you want to invite that energy in to your home, and that's how the energy comes into all your spaces, is through that door. Okay, and so when I open the door, that gives me a lot of clues. Do I see a ton of shoes? Okay, at that door. Do I see it when I come in? Do I see where backpacks are being dropped, shoes are being dropped? It's just all, you kind of have to crawl over all the stuff that's there. Okay, so once again, it's finding, getting organized, having a space where you put everything, and training people that are living with you that, hey, you know, this has a particular space, it should go here. I would say that's the biggest thing, because clutter is a huge blockage for us. When you think about it, I think it's like 80% of the things that we have, we don't use. 80% of the clothes we have in our closet, we don't wear. Okay, so you think about, now you look at that, and that it's just a ton of clutter. So it's removing that, or, you know, reorganizing it. You can have a lot of things. If people like to collect things, that's fine. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it, but having it organized, having a space for it, because how energy is coming in. The other thing that I noticed the minute I open the front door is, what do I see down that hallway? Okay, if I'm looking out, and this happens to be, I've done a lot of homes that have pools. If I'm looking from the front door all the way through the house, and I see a pool, you know, going at the end of the family room or something like that, I will predict that that household has a hard time keeping money in. Money is flowing out that window and flowing into that pool. Okay, so what do? There's a lot of things that you can do. You can put, you know, a plant, drapes, blinds, you know, there's all sorts of things where you can interrupt that energy flow. So for me, it's the front door. I help people sell homes that are moving, and that's huge. There was a home that was on the market for over a year. There was a lot of things going on, but they called me to Feng Shui it, and I helped them sell it. And the front door, oh my gosh, the doorbell was hanging out. Okay, the door knocker was lopsided, it was rusted. Okay, they had 2 planters in front with dead plants in them. Okay, you know, I mean, and so that's, you know, tells you about, oh my gosh, I mean, a lot of people don't even want to come in that way. So you think about the energy that's coming in. So you always want to have, and it doesn't have to be expensive, it has to be welcoming. And the way the homes are built now, unless you have a detached garage, most people always come in through the garage. So everyone goes, well, isn't that good enough if I'm coming in through the garage? No. You need to open up that front door. Everything starts at the front door. So I tell people, go out that front door, get your mail, or even open it and take 5 steps out and come back in. You're letting that new energy coming in, and you're renewing that energy all the time.
Excellent.
That's great. Someone here is wondering, what if your office is in your bedroom? What do you do with the whole water feature?
Okay, awesome. Okay, and I know a lot of offices are in bedrooms, and I've done that and worked with people. So the water feature, you can have the water feature on during the day, turn it off at night. Okay, it's just not ideal to have it on, but some people forget to turn it off at night. Perfect, you can have it. The other thing I recommend is, if it's in your bedroom, if there's a way that you can screen off, either with drapes, or there's so many cool screens that you can get online, okay, to kind of block that from the bed, if there's a bed in there. So kind of block it off so that it is your space, your area. But put your desk and stuff so that you're seeing the door, seeing who's going to be able to come in and out. So there's a lot of things that people can be creative with. I know a lot of people are using screens for Zoom calls. Okay, so they don't have to worry about what's in back of them all the time. So screens are awesome. They're portable. You can move them all the time. I have a client who, she's now moved, but she had a studio in downtown Chicago and was having a really tough time. The bedroom, living room were all together. She was working there, and then there was a bathroom right next to the bed. The bed there, it was just, you know, just really tight, compact, but everything was like overflowing and mixing. So what we did is, you know, we picked out some screens, she ordered them, we, you know, spaced it out where they should be, and it was amazing. So she could have a separate area when she was working, and then she could close that up when she was going to go to sleep. So there's a lot of things that you can do creatively, but I love screens, and just get it set up so that you're not facing a corner, you're not facing a wall, so that you're seeing the door, you're seeing who's coming in, and set it up as much as you can in a power position for yourself. Think about being the queen of that office, queen of your space.
Wow, this is all great stuff. I'm going to have to redo my office after this, so got another project.
You have to send me pictures.
Before and after.
Yes,
Exactly.
to do that.
We're taking any more questions for a couple minutes if anyone else has any. If you comment, we'll know that you are here, and we have 3 giveaways today. Marianne is giving away, so we can contact you later about those. We just want to make sure we knew you're here on the live, so if you want a question or just shout out, you're more than welcome to. We'll stay on for a couple more minutes to see if anyone else has any other questions about their office. But this has all been really fun stuff, you know.
It's great. And, you know, when people talk about energy, and I always, you know, like they kind of like, energy, what are you talking about? And I always say, because I'm a big baseball fan, like when you go to the baseball game, all that energy that comes with all the people that want the team to win, you can just feel the energy. Or when it's like a big game, you know, you kind of can feel it in the crowd, the positive juju. It's really a lot of fun. And you kind of can see where they had to recreate that energy now that people couldn't attend those games, right? It was really flat.
Right.
So even though, you know, people are curious about when you feel energy, to me, that's an excellent example of when people can feel it, or when you can see that there's no energy there because the people don't have it there with them. And now they had to create noise, and they had to put fake people in the stands. And I think they're doing that just to create more positive energy flow.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Because what you want to do is you always want to raise the vibration of a space. So when I go in and to consult with anybody, whether it be their home, their office, my goal is always to raise your personal vibration and the vibration of that space. If the vibration is low, okay, in your space, it impacts you greatly, okay? So can you be successful? Can you get your work done? Absolutely. But it's going to be more like you're climbing uphill. It's a battle, you know? You're kind of like dreading it, okay? Instead of, when you come into a space, have a candle going, and if you like soft background music, oh my gosh, music is huge, okay? Most clients, if they're single and they're living in, a 2-3 bedroom condo or townhome or something, and I walk in and it's deadly quiet. Oh my gosh, I can just feel the low energy vibration, and so I'll ask them, I said, do you like music? And said, oh yeah. I said, can you work with some music in the background? Well, yeah. Well, let's put some on. You've got a big TV screen here. Let's put something on. You've got these, series. You've got Pandora. Let's get something that's really good, uplifting for you. It is amazing. Just turning on a radio, boom, you raise the vibration up. Because otherwise it's dead silence. Because some people don't even have a pet. A pet raises the vibration in a space. It's amazing. If you have one pet or more pets, that vibration is personally raised. So I want to talk to you about that's an excellent example, because I've noticed that with all the games, okay?
Yeah.
We're having the cutouts in the stands, but still having the applause and everything. You always want to keep your personal vibration up, okay? And the vibration of the space. And it's all about how you feel. So when you walk into your office, after you set it up for your so that you're the queen or the king of that office, walk in there and see how you feel in that space. My son is so funny. He just graduated college. He's applying for graduate school for the fall, and he's gotten into lighting a candle. So when he's in his room studying or something, he's got a candle. He's got some music going on. He's got things that are pleasant for him, raising his vibration, whether he knows it or not. And in his corner, where he was interviewing in the living room, I Feng Shui'd his corner out beautifully so that he had all the supporting elements for himself. But you can feel it when you're in that space. It's either like, so low, or you come in and you go, wow, I'm feeling great. That's why having that, what I call runway on your desk, is so important. You sit down, you have your cup of coffee, you light a candle, you maybe put some music on, you go, oh, this, and then you think about, how do I want my day to go?
Yeah.
What clients do I want to reach out to? What positive note do I want to end my day on? Okay.
Yeah.
You get that planned out in the morning, and I will tell you, it will carry you throughout the day. So I was going to talk about this year, the energies shift, okay? In 2021, and I'm not going to go explaining all the energies, because this is kind of my bagua, shows you, the bagua of the energies. what's happening, but we're missing the fire element in all the sectors and cycles this year. Okay, of how it's shifting. We need fire, okay, which is, if we talk about fire, it's lights, candles, the color red, pinks, purples, orange, yellow, okay? Those are all fiery colors. We need that to raise our personal vibration. It depends on your particular element. You don't want too much. But this year, the recommendation is all women and men wear red, some red. So one of the things I'm known for is I encourage women and men to wear red underwear. Because some people go, I don't look good in red. I go, okay, get red underwear, bras and panties, okay, or hot pink, purple. Get something really vibrant, okay? So you're raising your personal energy vibration up. I have now 15 men that are wearing red boxers. And it's taken a while, and they will all tell me they feel a difference. So I just will give you my personal story. So it was so funny. Someone called me, this is about 2 years ago, and they said, I was downtown. This is when everyone was working downtown. She goes, I was in an elevator with my girlfriend, and someone came on with someone else, and they were talking about that someone had just come in and Feng Shui'd their office and a few things that they told them. And so, and she was listening, and she said, yeah, one of the things she told me, she says, is to wear red underwear whenever I'm having an important meeting, face-to-face, or I'm going to an important meeting. And she goes, so I'm going to have to go get some red underwear. So she wanted to talk to the person, but, when they got off the elevator, everyone dispersed. She goes, it had to be you, Marianne. You're the only one who talks about red underwear. And so you talk about raising your personal vibration. It's close to you. It's close to your heart, okay, your chakras. So I did a presentation for a friend who left corporate and became a realtor. And she wanted me to, like her coming out party, to be the keynote and talk about staging and clutter, okay, in homes and the impact and how to move them and sell them. So great presentation. We had food, we had champagne, we had everything going on. And it was a day where my son had a swim meet. I had clients. It was a nonstop day. And early in the morning, I laid everything out on my bed that I was going to wear. And so I had like 10 minutes to change, get my hair fixed up, and go to this presentation. The whole night, I was just feeling a little off. And I was like, wow. So I asked my friend, I said, Laura, I said, how was everything? Everyone seems to like the presentation because, oh my God, they loved it. I was there for 2 hours afterwards, answering questions, talking to people. I still felt a little off. I felt like I wasn't giving my 100%, didn't feel 100%. I couldn't figure out why. I come home, on my bed is the red underwear. I was in such a hurry, I did not put the red underwear. And I'll tell you, just that underwear is a subtle shift of energy, raising your personal vibration. So, particularly now when you're having meetings, okay, and they're on Zoom, most of them are meetings, and some people meet, person to person, but very few. Make sure that you've got your energy raised up. Get that red underwear on, or hot pink, anything really vibrant color raises your personal vibration. And this year particularly, also red jewelry this year, a piece of red jewelry. I have this red bracelet, if you can see it here, okay. Stones that have perhaps red in them, okay. Again, it's a metal year, so layering jewelry is super important, but get some really fun stuff, a lot of colors in it, okay. This year, they're recommending that people add colors to their wardrobe to raise the vibration because we're missing that element. So that's a big key for this year.
Got it. Wow, we could talk all day about this.
I know we could. Okay, I just want to, so I'll tell you can I tell about the raffles?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so I've been trying to find out every year. Starbucks in January, end of January, comes out with Starbucks gift cards, and they will have the Chinese zodiac animal of the Feng Shui year. So they are beautiful this year. I saw them. I have to go get them. And it's the metal ox, okay? And they come in a red envelope, and it'll say 2021 on that envelope. So I love to give that away as gifts, put some money on the card. And I tell people, keep reloading it all year. Keep it in your wallet and keep it in that red envelope because it's activating prosperity for you. Okay, so that's my gift. So whoever the lucky three people are, I will mail those out to you.
All right.
Thank you so much for that. We'll pick 3 of the people who are on today during their live. and, you know, get their addresses for you.
Perfect.
So thank you everyone who joined us today to see Marianne talk about Feng Shui. She can always come to your house, or you do Zoom sessions as well to do vision boards. So you can contact her at mekaplan8@gmail.com, and, you know, reach out and she'll help you feng shui your house for prosperity.
She's awesome.
She's great.
And I just have to tell you, I work remotely. I have clients all over the U.S. I have clients in the West Coast, the South, the East. So because I'm able to, what I do, I can do that remotely with getting help from the client. So you can feng shui no matter where you are.
Yeah.
So hit up Marianne. She'll help you out, of course. And we will be here again next Thursday for another Facebook Live, where we will be talking about, unclear right now. I'm drawing a blank. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Got some people saying, great job, great info. I think you killed it for your first Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone for being patient with me, being my first Facebook Live. Trying to pick out a spot in my house that wasn't too distracting. And I want to thank Barb and Maggie for inviting me and giving me this wonderful opportunity. They're both amazing. So thank you.
So yeah.
Oh, and then next week, I forgot, we have Terrell coming on, and she is going to be talking about 5 things to talk about financially before you say, I do. So she is an expert on some premarital financial counseling, and so she's going to give some great tips of things you should talk about before you put a ring on it.
I love that. Woo!
Get all your girlfriends who are engaged right now, and we'll get them on here, and we'll get you guys all financially ready. So great job, everyone, coming to the table to become financially fearless.
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys all later. Bye.
Bye.